Hello, 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 and welcome back to Highly Suspicious Podcast with Louie and Preston. My name is Louie.
My name is Preston. I'm at that level.
We're supposed to do the half steps up the scale.
Do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Because you could do like, my name is Preston. And then I'll finish it off by
our
saying,
new theme song.
We are once again live from the trap house.
Our new theme song.
Hi, Boomy.
Pierce has to make a new beat just for that. Pierce, sample that. I know you're listening.
What if we had an intro to the show that we were singing?
Christmas Carol episode.
So I told you that me and Caroline are watching Pokemon, the original Pokemon.
Oh, sweet.
And I fucking have no memory of this, but at the end of every episode there's like a Pokemon rap.
Oh my god.
Where they just name a bunch of the Pokemons and go, gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all. And
I remember that.
It is so bad.
Yeah.
It is painful to watch.
A lot of Japanese songs do not translate well to English. Yeah. There's a lot of, if you ever watch dubs, there are a lot of anime theme songs where it's like, wow, this is the edgiest thing I've ever heard in my life. And, like, the lyrics are not very creative.
Anime is just edgelord stuff, which is why the type of people that watch it are like that. Anyways, we don't really have anything to talk about this week. Nothing really happened.
Nothing happened. We're still here.
Fine. Fine, I guess we'll talk about the election. If we have to. We've done 2 straight episodes on it.
I know. That's actually the worst part.
So this is the last one y'all are getting ever.
After this, no more politics. For 4 years.
I think that the way I want to approach this is to give a more analytical lens to the whole situation, because I feel
there are so many opinions and feelings.
I feel like we have already given like our opinions on it before the election even happened, and I don't think our opinions changed because of anything that happened.
Yeah.
So this episode's not going to be about liberal tears. It's going to be about
how we got here.
Got here. And I think that it's important to do what we always do, which is dispel the myths and the cap that's going around. I think the main thing I want to talk about is that this was just 2016 part 2.
Oh, absolutely.
And
we had a break. We had a break before we had an intermission.
Yeah, we had
on the fight.
Yeah. We had Biden come in here and do nothing.
Yeah, we were on pause.
But really? he flew under the radar.
Yeah.
He didn't have any newsworthy takes.
Isn't that the craziest thing, actually, is that if you ask most people to describe Biden's presidency, they'd be like, he really did nothing. And then it's like, we also had these 2 major historical, like, wars going on.
Yeah.
You know?
And he still
did fucking nothing.
I think the biggest thing that he did was withdraw troops from, was that Afghanistan that he withdrew troops from?
I thought that was Trump.
No, it was Biden. It was the beginning of the Biden administration.
Huh. That's
was
so
it
long
Afghanistan?
ago. Yeah. The Middle East. We'll just say the Middle East to be...
Yeah.
Sure.
But, other than that, like, there's not a whole lot of things you can even point to and be like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, what happened in common with 2016 with now? We didn't really have a primary. We had one candidate kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, that's actually the craziest part, I think. That is, if anything, by doing nothing, that is what Biden did. Was be a placeholder.
Yeah.
Until they could just say, actually, it's Kamala now.
Yeah.
Thanks. Right. You did your part, buddy.
Yeah.
Go back.
A bookmark.
Go back to bed.
You know, he's happy as fuck right now. He's ready to be done.
Nah. They're gonna make him run next time. They're gonna say, if Kamala couldn't do it and he's still kicking, they're gonna say, we have better drugs now. They're gonna make him fucking like RoboCop. They're gonna fucking give that man another heart, and they're gonna fucking overturn the, what was it, like 22nd Amendment or some shit.
Can we do this until like 2040? Can we have it Biden versus Trump every single year? And every year they change it up just a little bit. Maybe next time Trump drops out and J.D. Vance runs.
I like where your head's at. That's exactly
They just remix it a little bit different every time.
That is exactly how our corporate overlords work.
But, yeah. So, there's not really a true primary. There was literally no primary this time. But, even in 2016, it was kind of like the powers that be were like, okay, here's Hillary. She's status quo. Yep. Her last name's Clinton.
Yeah.
You know, all that. And both of them ran on very moderate policies. Both of them were trying to ride the line because they wanted to break that glass ceiling, and they viewed the only way of doing that would be to ride that line. And what happened was the exact same thing both times. The moderate policies pushed away a lot of the far left people.
Yeah. I honestly...
And Trump was also able to paint them as these leftist extremists.
Yeah.
Even though nothing about their policies was extreme.
They were actually the farthest right, you could say, any Democrats' policy, like, you know, statements on their policies before an election have ever fucking been. Because they're just like, we want more military spending, which every year is like the most ever.
Right.
And they're like, we want, you know, more oil and shit like that. Like, you fuck the environment. Fracking in the U.S., which is a huge Republican take.
Yeah.
That's what they all foam at the fucking mouth for, is cheap gas and shit. Like, that shows where your values are at. What serves you versus what serves society, you know?
So, what you get out of that is the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
You get these moderate-ass people trying to run that are pushing away people in the middle and pushing away people on the far left.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten to the point where you can call it wokeness or fake wokeness or whatever the fuck you want. A lot of people stood on their moral compass and said, look, if she's going to be pro-Israel, then we're not voting for her.
Yeah.
And that showed in the numbers. That showed in like 20 million less Democrats voting for her this year as opposed to Biden in 2020. That's the difference.
I think the most telling part on the actual numbers is that Trump also didn't get more votes than when he won. He got less. He got less votes than when he won, and he still lost.
He got less votes than when he lost.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No. I think that, like,
but yeah,
the voter turnout actually wasn't that actually, you know. Yeah. I was like, oh, I think voter turnout is going to be crazy. Everybody's voting early. And it's like, nah, the people that voted early because of convenience, I think. Yeah. And then the rest of the people, like, still turned out. And, yeah, the numbers were definitely not fucking there. It was a blowout. It was not
even close.
Yeah, and I think we were both like, it's going to be close, and
every swing state went red.
Yeah.
Every swing state. So you look back on it and you're like, okay, what did we learn? And the Democratic Party's answer is nothing.
Yeah.
It's still being blamed on that she's a woman, that's the reason why so many less people voted for her.
I don't think that it's fair to say that that's like, no, I don't think anybody could say that that's 100% not a factor. Like, we live in a bigoted ass country. Yeah, we know that. In the times that we have come into adulthood in, we are well aware that we live in a bigoted ass country. But that doesn't mean that it, is also 100% the reason why.
Yeah.
If you ran on actual policy, maybe you'd even fucking sway people who are like, I'm on the fence because Gaza really bothers me.
For the record, I definitely think that race and gender plays some sort of role in this.
Yeah.
But I can also
You cannot say it's 100% the reason.
I can also say, like, if she was a white male running on the same policies, I mean, that was Caroline's argument about this, that if she was a white man with the same policies, she would have won. And I don't fucking agree with that at all. I think that
debatable.
She did well, yeah, it's a hypothetical,
totally,
so there's no way to, and you can't exactly pull that. If Kamala was white, would you have voted for her? No.
Not me, ever, never.
Because
there's
a poll like that would be, are you racist?
basically.
And that's also, disregarding all the subliminal stuff like that thinks that...
Yeah, there's so many things that people are not conscious of.
They might not, explicitly think. That she's weak because she's a woman, but they might...
But there might
in the
be
back of their brain
a certain percentage of men
she might be too emotional to lead.
Yeah.
That's
always the argument that people make, where they're just like, yeah, women can't be in power. They have too many emotions.
But,
meanwhile, a man will punch a hole in a fucking wall instead of using his words.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on.
I think that you can look at all this, and I think the aftermath has been really interesting because everyone's just like, who is there to blame?
Yeah.
People are blaming...
Everybody wants to blame somebody.
Third party, people are blaming Latino voters who were like 50-50 on Trump versus Biden, or Trump versus Kamala.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, same difference. Same difference.
People are blaming, suburban white people.
I think that...
But if you look at it, people are blaming Trump. People are blaming his supporters for being racist, every single one of them. That's what they're saying, even though that's just going to make the divide worse. But the truth is, at some point, you got to fucking look at yourself in the mirror. Sometimes you have to evaluate from within. And I used the analogy when we lost 3 bullshit games in football this year. You can look at, the referees. You can look at the extraneous bullshit going on. You can look at the other side and be like, okay, they were just playing better than they ever had before. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you gotta look at your own team and be like, why the fuck weren't we able to do this? Why the fuck weren't we able to beat someone who tried to overthrow the government?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why the fuck weren't we able to do that?
How is somebody like that able to run?
Is more...
If you have...
That is more of an indictment on the Democratic Party than anything.
Absolutely. If you have the political power to change the law of the land, if you can make an executive order and try to get something passed, I know that there's so many... It's so difficult to say just do something about it. Just lock him up. Just lock that motherfucker up. He definitely... And it's like... Ignorance is not always an excuse legally, even for an average citizen, Yeah. And I think it says a lot about our country. Like, if, we all believe we're equal and shit like that, then the president's also just a fucking human being. And if you can be guilty, or if you can be charged, plenty of people get charged for shit they didn't even fucking do in this country. We can't charge an asshole for actually trying to throw a coup.
Or any of the other very illegal things that he did.
Or any people that actually put him in a position of power, help put him in a position of power in the first place. Yeah. Because I doubt he'd still be running if he didn't have somebody to help him fucking do it. There are plenty of people that put him in those positions and knew what they were doing. Yeah. And know what they're doing, having him run again.
It's crazy because,
everybody likes to talk about made-up agendas. Look at the very obvious agendas of our society,
Like what?
They all clearly want the same fucking thing. Yeah. They don't... It doesn't have to be a paper trail. They're all conspiring together for what they all want.
And that's why it's this fucking
to maintain the
illusion
ruling
of choice.
Class.
that our choice is either status quo or turning back the clocks.
Really, it's a matter of...
You know what I mean?
That's why I voted third party, because it is, to me, it feels like it's a trap. Like, if you are given only the two-party system as options, I'm sure there are plenty of people that are just like, I have been Republican my whole life, and I don't agree with everything that Trump says, but he's who my party has given me to vote for. Mm-hmm. And I don't, I'm not going to change sides.
And it's the exact same thing on
And it's the exact same thing on the left, where plenty of people are like, I really don't like Kamala, and there's no real policy there, and there's nothing that would benefit. If you vote off of what benefits you, which I think plenty of people do in this country, there are plenty of people who are left that are like, Kamala's not giving me anything that benefits me. She's going to maintain a system that disservices me left and right. Plenty of impoverished people on the left. And
when I heard
they're still going to vote for her.
I heard this point being made, and I think it was a really good one. The left didn't really offer us any solutions.
Yeah.
And Trump has solutions. They're wrong solutions, and they're dumb solutions, but they're easy to, understand. If you can blame a lot of the country going downhill and, crime and stuff like that on this class of migrants. Mm-hmm. If you can do that, and you say that, you can get rid of these people and things are going to get better here, that's more of a solution to fixing things than the left.
You're at least saying something that you can do about something versus just not talking about it.
It's the same thing with the inflation stuff. Trump was saying, he's going to cut taxes and he's going to make life easier for people and fight inflation, as opposed to the left, who's like, actually, inflation's not that bad and the inflation rate's going down. And for me, I understand what it means for the inflation rate to be going down, but that doesn't mean that the prices are going down.
It's also always gone up.
Yeah.
Right. Even if it goes down, it's still going up. That's how our economic system works.
Yeah, we can't
it's just as bad as the government.
Yeah, we can't really do anything to get those prices down very much further.
Yeah.
So, that was, I think, the biggest thing, because people were looking at, gas prices, which are really good right now, which that's a whole different conspiracy theory I have for another day.
It is right. It is nice right now. I'm happy to see below $3.
It was literally like $3.25 plus for most of this year.
Yeah.
And just as it was creeping up to election time, it's like $2.80. And I've been on the record saying that presidents don't control the gas prices.
Yeah.
But that does seem like some fishy shit that just in time for election, it's like, see, prices are good. Prices are actually really good right now.
They're great. Stellar. Meanwhile, I'm selling my blood and shit.
Selling my kidney.
I would if I could. Fuck it. That'd be real freedom right there. I got a spare one.
Okay.
There's Noria.
Okay, we're back.
Whoa, it's fast. It's moving really fast.
Okay, we're back.
Normal waveforms.
We're back. Nobody move. I don't even know how I did that. I think...
I love that we've been doing this for years now. And you're just like, this is an enigma. The way
with the microphone, with
production works around
software,
here. Yeah, all these switches and knobs. Don't know how any of it works.
I want to get a real audio engineer in here just so they can be like, are you fucking serious, bro? Because, I'm still, they're like, it's going to do whatever it wants.
They come in, and they're just like, it's like watching a fucking chimp. Just press a button and look at the waves move.
Yeah.
Where were we? How long have we been recording for?
We've gone long enough for this to be halfway.
Let's wrap up the politics. Future Louis, make this sound decent.
The country's dying.
And we're all in this together.
And so another crazy thing is, like, I'm applying for a couple of government jobs. Part of Project 2025 is that if you disagree with
basically
the party, they can...
It'll be like the fucking Cold War, and they can just be like, see, we have evidence that you're a fucking communist. Yeah. And now you can't work for the government. You can't work at the fucking DMV because you're not a fucking inbred hick who fucking thinks that the economy is real.
We're getting off of politics, but this song, it's gonna get us talking about politics. So it's just how it goes.
A vicious cycle.
Have we talked about Run the Jewels ever on here?
I don't think so.
Because I feel like there have been times where I almost played this song and thought about playing this song.
I've done that with songs before where I'm like, have I almost played this?
But I don't think I have. This is Walking in the Snow by Run the Jewels.
Man like me, until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe. And you sit there in the house on couch and watch it on TV. The most you give a Twitter rant and call it a tragedy. But truly the travesty, you've been robbing your empathy. Replaced it with apathy. I wish I could magically fast forward the future so then you can face it and see how fucked up it'll be. I promise I'm honest, they coming for you the day after they coming for me. I'm reading Chomsky, I'm reading Bukowski, I'm laying low for a week. I said something on behalf of my people and I popped up in...
So that was Walking in the Snow by Run the Jewels. Have you heard that song before?
No, that was fire.
So that's good. That means I have definitely not played it on the show before.
I definitely wouldn't remember.
So Run the Jewels is a duo with legendary underground MC LP and also legendary, less underground Killer Mike. He's he was never quite underground because he always ran with
a big name along
the Southern hip hop people before Southern hip hop was as big as it is now. Mm-hmm. So he worked with the Goody Mobs, the Outcasts, the people like that back in the day. So I think why they work so well as a duo is because LP is more of the more heady, you have to think about it, lyrics and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Killer Mike's more of the, like, just smack you over the head with this shit. Yeah. Like his shit's much quicker to digest. So the way that mixes, it makes it where it's not just this.
I think it's because the way he says it, like he's blunt, but he's still able to get a good flow on it.
Because when I first heard this, it was Killer Mike's verse that really blew my mind. But LP's verse really might even be better. And another thing that's so dope about it is, like, the chemistry is there because they're, like, feeding off of each other. Mm-hmm. They're both talking about this concept of, like, the cage not being free and stuff like that. But shit, yeah, just... So what do you think of that?
That was amazing. You know me, I'm always looking for good imagery. And it's interesting because it makes me think of, I recently went to go see The Sacred Souls. I played some of their music on here. But they have a, like, No Justice, No Peace song. And, you know, just talking about, like, it could be me is one of the lines in their song. And their lead singer's black, and it's, you know, I'm sure that it's fucked up to even think that could happen to you, you know. It reminds me of my privilege. I'm, you know, well aware. Mm-hmm. Nikki was saying some shit about me wishing that I was, like, a POC, and I'm just like, you know I'm privileged. I know I'm in a society where, like, I'm lucky that I am white, but it's like, you know, we're all, in a way, we're still all in this together. Yeah. Like, even though some of us are more at risk, I think that those who are privileged, it's just your position, your responsibility to do with it what you can for everybody else.
And that's what the fuck they're both saying in this song.
Yeah.
Like,
we're still all in this sort of prison together.
It's really a message more than anything towards poor whites.
Yeah. And just like progress, which it's funny because it's like when you look at the history of civil rights, when it really gets attention from the fucking government is when you start bringing people together on that class war instead of the race war and the culture war.
Yeah.
And that's when people get taken out by the feds. Because that's what they don't want you to do.
They build up these lines of division so that we're so busy fighting amongst each other
that we can't fight them.
We don't want to fight the people that are actually in control.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, they're getting the biggest military they can together for the day that we all finally wake the fuck up.
Yeah. But it's a good way to put it in a way that's very simple, how they say, funny fact about a cage, they're never built for just one group, so when that cage is done with them and you're still poor, it comes for you, the newest, lowest on the totem. Well, golly gee, you have been used. And Killer Mike said something very similar where he says, they're going to come for you the day they're done coming for me.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, if you look at everything that's going on, we should be all on the same team.
Yeah.
And the elections like this are making shit more contentious because how many people have you say some shit like, if you're a Trump supporter, don't fucking talk to me?
There's a lot of that. It's like if you're a Trump supporter, we don't know each other. And then there are a lot of people that are like, everybody that voted third party cost us the election.
Yeah.
There are plenty of fucking...
And get out of my phone.
There are plenty of fucking incels on Twitter saying shit like, if you're a fucking, illegal immigrant, I'm gonna report you because you cost us the election. Or if you're, Palestinian, like, you cost us the election or something, like Muslim or some shit, you cost us the election. Because the Arab vote went further left. They went and voted for Jill Stein because they couldn't vote for somebody that condones violence that directly impacts them. Right. I mean, obviously, how the fuck would you vote? And so it's like everybody wants somebody to blame, and it does just take away from the fact that we're all in this shit together, and that no matter what, we fucking lose in this system because we don't. It's it's like
marginalized is marginalized.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a vicious cycle, and it's just like every aspect of society is put in place to just keep everybody at the position they are in. It's hard to move up in this fucking world because it's been made so, not because it has to be, but because we're all driven away from collectivism. Yeah.
In history class, they teach about the caste system, how it's impossible to move up or down one class, and they teach in a way where we're like, that's a wacky, quirky way to do things.
That could never happen again.
Yeah. And more or less, that's how it is.
That is, I totally agree.
I think there are exceptions to the rules, and those are the people that we pay attention to because the rags to riches stories are...
They put them in your face so you think, oh, it could be me.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there are people out here hoping that they get in a car crash so they can actually make some money off of insurance.
Yeah. Get disability.
Yeah. For some people, that's as good as you think you could get, Not having to work.
But yeah, the way I see it, you're probably the freest from the ages 1 through 4. Around the age of 5, really got me. You're shipped away for your body to be stored.
Because we always talk about school.
They promise education, but really give you tests and scores. And they predict in prison population by who's scoring the lowest. And the lowest scorers, the poorest, and they look like me.
Mm-hmm. Often, yeah.
So, I mean, we've talked about all this on the show.
How that system works.
So,
totally.
This is right up my alley as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And with musical intermission, a lot of the times we do talk mostly about message, because that's usually what there is to talk about.
Yeah.
But this shit just fucking goes hard. It flows. The beat is good.
It's one of those, I feel like that's actually why I love music as, in a way, it's a form of propaganda. But it can be, good shit like that. Propaganda that needs to be spread, that more people need to be thinking about. Because it's so easy to go through life and be apathetic and say, it would make my life harder if I am thinking about everybody else in society's problems. It makes me harder for me to just keep going and survive and do what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. I think that's why a lot of people choose to be apathetic to the problems that they see around them. And I think that that's a cop-out. And, it's understandable, but that's what it is. You're just saying, I gotta do me. And that's not a very enlightened way of thinking.
Yeah.
And music can get into people's heads, and you can say some shit like, you're not actually free and everybody else's problems are, we're all one human race type beat.
I think that there is a difference between propaganda and education, because I feel like this is presented in a way where, like, it's obvious what they're doing, it's obvious where they're coming from. Not saying you have to agree, but it's presented in a way where you can kind of be like,
I kind of get it.
I agree with it, or
in the context,
I don't agree. I don't necessarily think I think they're probably going too far with this. You can break it down like that, as opposed to a lot of propagandists that present, slanted information in a way where it's like subconsciously being absorbed. It's not even like shit like Joe Rogan is like, he's not a political figure. He doesn't run a political podcast.
Yeah.
He runs shit for entertainment.
Yeah.
But because of the entertainment,
and because he gets people on there talking politics. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets the Elons of the world. He gets the RFKs of the world. And that's bigger for those people's platforms than fucking anything else. From Twitter to, the controversial news stories.
Just get on Joe Rogan.
And Joe Rogan's thing is, like, he doesn't really push back on anything. So
I'll just be like, that's interesting, man. That's
you go on there and say some shit that's just factually wrong...
He's got a dude on a computer. He ain't even like, look that up, man.
He doesn't push back on anything. And part of that is because, like you said, but part of it is just that he doesn't know enough to push back on it. I mean, he's talking to guys that he probably perceives to be smarter than him, like Elon, like RFK, when that might not even necessarily be the case. Sometimes you get in those positions just by talking as if you know what the fuck you're talking about. Totally. Even if they fucking do not. And have brainworms and shit.
Brainworms and generational wealth.
Did you fucking hear the bear story?
Yeah, that shit's demented.
Did we even talk about that on the show?
I think we might have talked about that on the show.
Insanity.
That's fucking insane. You have brain damage if you're doing shit like that.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go Google it.
Go look up RFK brainworm bear.
But yeah, Run the Jewels is so dope, and I've talked about how I like being challenged in my music sometimes. This is a group that very much like speaks to how I feel about things. So it's just preaching to the choir.
So I hadn't heard of the group before, and so you just said who it was by. I was like, I don't know who that is. And then the way the intro was, it actually kind of got me. I thought it was going to be a totally different kind of...
with the guitar.
The guitar threw me off. I was like, I have no idea what I am in for when that started. And then it does have some, like, crazy-ass production on it. The beats where it's just, like, it's we always talk about, like, Alchemist, where it's just, like, sinister, Where it's just like, it's creating a setting and a mood, and you're just like, damn, they're spitting.
Yeah, this album that this song's from was from 2020. Nice. So that's kind of a song that really fits well in that atmosphere. I mean, this came out when, like, literally in the middle of, like, the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah, at like the height.
The riots and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was just perfect time for that. And then their project before that came out in 2016 with the election of Donald in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
wonderful get
some
new shit from him.
Yeah.
But this is the project that I would recommend you check out if you haven't heard them before.
Okay.
The third one. It's good shit. You're gonna like their stuff a lot. I know it.
Oh, absolutely. That shit already is going on the playlist.
I'm honestly kind of surprised you've not heard them before.
I am too.
Because it seems
I know
like
Killer Mike.
Something that would be up your alley. Yeah.
And, yeah. That was crazy.
We'll get Boomy curled up in the corner over there.
No takes today.
What's wrong, buddy? He's thinking about the future of America.
Questioning how we got here. Just like us.
So we just went to Indies. That was a good first
An
experience
institution.
for me. How many Indies are there in town? 3 or
just
4?
a few. Yeah, it's actually a pretty small chain. That's kind of my thing is like I was saying, it's funny because I've definitely heard people be like, it's actually fucked up to make a poll for Louisville and for people to be like, my favorite chicken's KFC.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's sad. Eat at local restaurants, please. Like, do me that favor.
I think we all need to get better at eating more local shit.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with chains is just that they're chains, so they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
it's convenience,
wherever you
absolutely.
go, KFC's gonna be looking you in the face, and it's only certain places you go where you're like, huh, there's an Indies. And that's the reason why I've never had it before, because...
Yeah, there's only... let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Yeah, 1 across the river. 7 in town.
That's a fucking lot. But is that the only ones that there are?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's fire.
Support your local chicken shops.
Absolutely. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. And I think that with elections like this, we just need to focus on doing the good that we can.
Thank you. Because I feel like that's actually the most
people,
base take, and everybody likes to just be mad and find somebody to blame and act out. I hate how I'm seeing people say, you know, like I said, on Twitter, there are plenty of white dudes being like, if you're a fucking immigrant, you cost us this election and I'm reporting you to ICE. And it has happened. People have been doxxed and
That's crazy.
fucking ratted to ICE by fucking incels online because they're so upset about this election. And there are plenty of people that are like, fuck you, I'm drinking Starbucks and getting McDonald's right now. Because there were plenty of people saying, you know, they do get money to support the military and to support Israel and shit. So it's like, if you really care about that, you know, maybe don't go to McDonald's. It's the same as, you know, Chick-fil-A is obviously very anti-LGBTQ. And if you have a problem with that, don't go there, you know, if you actually care. And it's all about, you know, well, I want my triple-double macchiato with extra whipped cream. And it's like, okay, if that's where your priorities lie.
I care a little bit.
Every so often I
go.
cave, and I don't think... It's the same as how I feel about recycling. Where it's like, I don't think my actions directly impact anything that much.
My boycott of Chick-fil-A isn't
but I
beating
do
homophobia.
I do support and understand the rhetoric. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to go to Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to go to Starbucks. I'm not going to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Every so often, I might need a meal for $5. Or like a McChicken. Because I'm a little broke and I need a sandwich.
It's
for $2.
It's really the accessibility factor.
Yeah,
because
that's what I said. And it's
if you're
you want to talk about the prison that we're all collectively in. It's the prison of convenience. We are all given the illusion of choice, And it's like, nowhere you spend your money is great, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that you can, you know, be conscientious about it. And if you do go to a local place, you're probably having a better impact on society with your money than at other places. You know? It's like the fucking dollar store is all about convenience, but it's actually a scam. They definitely, price per unit, mark up everything that they sell for. It's not even the dollar store anymore. It's the $1.25 store.
Yeah. Damn inflation.
Damn inflation. But really, they're still marking up their products. It's just that they buy in bulk so much that they can increase the price per unit. They're still giving you a bad deal. Versus if you went and like bought, you know, a whole box of something at Walmart, say, it'll technically be more expensive at the dollar store. It's the illusion of choice. It's the position we're put in for convenience, is we kind of lose out. Our money is just in the ether.
Have you ever gotten milk at a convenience store like CVS or something like that?
Yeah.
It's
fucking
so
like
expensive. $6, $8, something like that.
That exact principle is what I'm talking about.
It's fucking like $2 for like a gallon of milk at Kroger.
Yep.
And every time I'm like, holy shit.
Yep. An arm and a fucking leg for some milk at the convenience store.
What is that, a 600% difference? 600% markup? That's insane.
Totally.
Yeah, it's just, people do not value education as much as they should.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but in school, I was always, you know, like, yeah, whatever, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's school.
I mean, I wasn't like, yay, school.
Yeah.
But I did.
Also wasn't somebody that was like, I'm going to cry having to go to school. Like, I would rather be anywhere else. Or like skipping or going in, you know, not taking it kind of seriously.
That's what I was going to say. I did the work and I am benefiting off of it now. Not even in I can get a job because I'm a high school educated because the job market fucking sucks right now.
Yeah.
But just on a intrinsic value of like, I can kind of see how I'm being robbed and how I'm being nickeled and dimed in certain things.
I was thinking
how to make smarter decisions.
I was thinking of Mr. Gillum the other day.
Legend.
Absolute legend. And it's because I saw somebody talking, it was like trying to raise signatures because their teacher got put on like academic leave because they kind of popped off after the election and they got like doxxed by basically this dude, I think is a podcaster and used to do gay porn and is now like an evangelical online. Very weird story. But basically doxed this school that this teacher went on a rant and was like, this country's going in a sad direction and like, in a way, white men are to blame. And it's like, you're not 100% wrong. Like, if you look at the polling, like, yeah, that is how the white male demographic leans in this country. And it's unfortunate. And, you know, I think every time I get on the mic, I'm just like, I'm doing my part. So many white dudes give us a bad fucking name. I gotta put it out there. And just like having good teachers, having people that kind of shake you a little and say, hey, here's what this looks like.
Eastern was cool because I think that they had a strong enough administration where like the teachers felt comfortable enough to say how they really felt about shit.
I mean, I was there election year, 2016.
Yeah, and I heard people talking about it.
Mm-hmm. And there was that dude that used to wear like a Confederate flag shirt or some shit. You remember that dude?
Hat.
Yeah.
Everyone who went to Eastern knows who we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
High school. It's just a microcosm of society, really.
I think you can learn a lot by people watching.
Yeah.
Because everything is a microcosm.
Mm-hmm. Every interaction.
Every person that you interact with is a part of a larger picture.
Totally.
No one is completely unique or completely... I mean, everyone is but you know what I mean.
Not 100%.
Everyone
90% is
everyone is just a product
influenced
of their situation.
Yeah, and their surroundings. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. No one has just been grown in a lab and been like, okay, I'm this way, and it's completely different, and I'm just me.
Yeah,
everyone kind of has. I mean, what everyone does is just kind of
that's the reality of the human condition.
Pick and choose kind of the traits that you want
to accept as part of your personality,
and that's why everyone's a little bit different, because no one has the exact same things about them. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that.
I like it.
But yeah, microcosm.
Word of the day.
We have enough content.
Wrap her up. All right, that's probably all we should say for this week. We started rambling a bit there. Canceled. Nobody doxed me. We record this at my house. We can't have you rioting outside the little basement window.
Or maybe we should.
Let's leak it. We'll have some content there for sure.
And no people come.
Everybody who shows up, you can be on the pod. We're at Highly Suspicious everywhere. New episode every Thursday at some point.